Yeah.
All right, Scott, you take it. I can't do it.
Yeah, man. Good job with that, dude. Yeah. Wow, man. You know what to say, dude. Yeah, I don't. It don't feel real to me, and it's almost a shock, almost. And welcome to Tunes Brothers, everybody. My bad. This is a shitty day. You know, it wasn't bad until the news came in. But anyway, I'm Scott. We got the Rob father here with Lois and Gigi and Dave. I don't think Darren's in yet. Um, just, we were just talking about this not long ago. Um, a few episodes ago, actually. Um, I seen him about 5, 6 months ago, I guess. I think it don't seem like it's been that long, but it's been pretty close. I think back in April, May. Um, and he was not feeling good then. I'm glad that he was able to do the show because I got to meet him, get some autographs, see the show. Um, and, you know, they were talking that and he started canceling shows after that. And it just makes you wonder how long this has been going on, for an aneurysm type thing, is what I'm getting out of it. But to me, the beginning of all the music, rock, regardless, metal, that I love today is because of Kiss. And this is one of the members. This is the sound of Kiss, the original lead guitarist. Um, Goofball, type guy, just, plays, out of his skin on some of these solos. Not the most dependable person. We all knew, how Ace's background was and stuff. But it's almost like losing a family member, because Ozzy, all the guys we've lost in Van Halen the last 6, 7 years, yeah, they hit home to me, but this one right here, man, really hits home, and it don't seem real still to me. Um, when Rick sent me that message, I'm thinking, well, is it bullshit? Or, I mean, you know how stuff gets started on the Facebook and shit like that, just make sure, and then I'll let Rob know whatever, let's dig and see what's going on. But if it was something like that, it seems like they would have found that, if it was a brain bleeding, you know, but that's beside the point right now. I love the guy regardless. Didn't know him, but I felt like I did. 7 year old, just turned 7 year old. I mean, it's like I've followed their career and seen them every time I could since I could go. Um, thank God I got to go see what I did. Um, just my favorite guitarist of all time, you know, and no, not the best guitarist of all time as far as technical and stuff like that, but Ace was always my guy. He wasn't my favorite member at the beginning, but I never disliked Ace for any reason. Um, Even if he was crazy. Peter and Gene were my two go-tos in the very beginning. Gene, of course, at first. Um, but yeah, man, this one right here is something that'll have to soak in. Um, it just it just don't seem real to me, man. It hit like a sledgehammer. When I found out it was real. Um, no seeing Ace anymore, or nothing crazy to talk about anymore. With him uh, going back and forth and stuff with Paul or Gene or whatever. Um, but I always loved the guy. I loved what he created with the band. I love what he created on his own. Not everything, of course, but the majority of the stuff I always liked by Ace. And his sound was what I always loved. His lead guitar sound, the way he played his leads and stuff, man, was really just fucking over the top to me. I love that loud Les Paul sound. And he'll be missed, man, you know, by millions of fans. I know, especially me. Um, Him and Peter, of course, at the end here when things just went awry and stuff, were my favorite too. You know, I love them all, but you know, you got your favorites and you got the ones that you know you like, you know, better than others. That's just the way it is. Um, but I just don't think there'll ever be anybody to take his place. I mean, this guy played in the biggest band, rock band, metal band, whatever. You know, they dabbled in a little bit of both, in my opinion, in the world. I mean, you can say whatever you want to now, and people, generations that come along, stuff like yes, but you go back to 1976 through 1979, and you can't find anybody bigger in the world with the guitars and drums and a band than Kiss, man. I mean, they literally dominated at that time period, it, exceeding all expectations of any rock band. So, yeah, the guy is a legend, and regardless of I guess who likes him, who don't, and all that stuff, you can't deny what he helped create. So, love you, Ace. Always have, always will. Um, I hate this shit, man, but it is what it is, man. You know, can't change it.
Let me just say quick, we hit 50 people watching, which is a big deal for our little podcast for anything non-warning related. So thank all of you. Sorry, I got myself choked up with a damn intro I made. Gigi, your turn.
Yeah.
You're muted, Gigi.
Sorry. I do that for a purpose. Yeah, that was a mighty fine intro. I already put out a song. I forgot the name of the song now. Anyways, I put out a song clip from Ace today with messages, whatever, on a short. And last I looked, I think there was 100 people viewed. So it's pretty good. It's it's gonna go around viral everywhere. Everybody's gonna be talking about this tomorrow and all that. And all the drama is gonna start from that end. God forbid. But yeah, what an influence. I go back. That's my high school days. I still remember my room. I had all the posters from the solo albums plastered all on my room walls. It covered up all the ugly wallpaper that was in there. It's just wall-to-wall Kiss everywhere. My mom couldn't understand it. But I remember when I put that album on and hearing Fractured Mirror was like, oh, that was just, I probably played that 50 times or something, right? It was just like, that was the coolest, whatever. Of course, New York Groove. New York Groove. Yeah, that was one of those songs where I don't have to be embarrassed to like Kiss anymore. Back when we were growing up, Lil, yeah, you're a Kiss fan, yeah, you're, whatever, right? Until they got a little more popular, then it was like, you're accepted now, right? Of course, when they did I Was Made for Loving You, that, everybody around me loved it, and I'm going, no. But yeah, I can hear his laugh. I've seen clips of people putting all kinds of Ace clips together where his giggle is just, what do you call it? Catchy. Just, nobody gonna be like him. As much as the other guys try to replace him with makeup and all, you can't get rid of the originals. They did great doing it. Too bad they had to do it. It would have been nice if Peter and Ace could have kept going forward till this point in time. But yeah, it's scary. We're all getting older, and yeah, Diane Keaton just the other day too, and yeah, it's weird to be sitting at this time now and watching all these people just Yep. How do we keep it going? We have to keep putting out the good music to all these little youngins that have crap for choice these days. Anyways, so rest in peace, Mr. Paul Daniel Frehley. We're all gonna miss him, that's for sure. I always wonder why Paul Stanley picked Paul as his name. Because, that's not his name. So it's like, Why'd you put your first name last and you picked Paul as your first name? Because the other one covered up his name, Paul? I always kind of wondered that. I don't suppose anybody's ever heard that in any kind of interview.
Yeah, they changed their names back when they first started because they wanted cooler names, because Gene's name was something I can't even hardly pronounce.
Yeah.
And uh, Paul Frehley, of course, Ace, he already had the nickname Ace,
Yeah.
call me Ace, so Paul just took that Paul Stanley instead of Stanley Eisen. It just, and I'm glad they did because that's what I'll always know them by, regardless of what, and
Yep.
everybody else will too, what their
Yep.
real names are. So,
That was
uh,
a part of it, but also let's not forget they were anonymous, right? I mean, it'd be easy to get a picture of someone if you knew their real name. And back then, they were not to be seen and recognized, so that might have been a part of it.
I
Captain
still
Lou.
remember the Inquirer showing certain pictures. He'd be dating Cher, and the mask was up across the face. Like, oh, if you could catch them, you got paid the money. But if you
Yeah.
caught them, I'm sure you were dead on the side of the road.
and
Yeah.
what's funny about that, guys, is, they didn't really think about that until after their first couple of tours. I know it's in their books. Uh, Bill Coyne is the one that told them, don't do interviews without your makeup on. Don't take pictures without your makeup. It was his idea. They didn't really think about it like that, but he was like, don't get caught without your makeup on doing anything. And look what it turned into. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, and damn who Gene is, Chaim Witz, yes. He originally changed it to Gene Klein around the time he was a teacher. But anyway, Louie, how's this resonating with you?
Well, Scotty covered so much. There's not much I could add to it. Gigi said a lot of stuff along the way that I was thinking. Yeah, to me, it's like losing a friend that you never met, kind of thing. Every time I see these guys interviewed and doing their thing, it's always enjoyable to watch because they're like the most enjoyable on-screen personalities ever, even if they're talking smack about each other or whatever. Um, it's you know when the news broke today, I was kind of not expecting it, but knowing eventually something was going to happen one way or the other, and unfortunately, it happened in the bad way. Um, I don't even. Did he die in New York or somewhere else?
I don't know. I didn't. To be honest with you, I was so busy bouncing between news sources because there was one guy on YouTube who had a live stream up saying he was dead, but nobody else for like a half hour was saying it. Not TMZ, not Rolling Stone, not Ace's Camp. In fact, Ace's Camp actually came out, said these rumors are bullshit, and then shortly thereafter, everybody started breaking it.
I heard it on an ABC News affiliate. It was a pop-up thing. I don't know, but I was just wondering, like, did Ace have the best doctors possible, or did these doctors aren't up to snuff to being at the top of the tier?
We got two viewers who say he died in New Jersey.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, so it's like everything. I love the sound of Ace's guitar tone, his tonality. Like I said, he had to look at his fretboard, but then again, I think he was always that way. I think that's just what he taught himself, is to look at the fretboard while he's playing. Some, it's like I wish I could come up with these great words of wisdom and comfort and solace or whatever. I guess a little shout out to the family. We never knew you. We didn't know anybody of Ace's family. His mother, father, cousins, brothers, sisters, whatever. They were never, introduced to the world. So I don't know which ones passed away way before this. And I just want to go out saying this: Torpedo Girl is a damn good song. And
yeah, he talked about his daughter a lot. Does he have? I wonder if he has more than one.
Monique
child.
was his first child, I believe, and I think she's the one. Correct me if I'm wrong, Scotty. That was doing some singing on some of his stuff. even back, with Frehley's Comet on Dolls and stuff. Other than that, he kept his family out of it, which is kind of refreshing.
Yes.
Down under, Dave, how is this going in Australia? Any big news?
Yeah, well, it's all over Facebook. It's on our news services. Yeah, as you know, Rob, I went to bed quite late last night because I worked last night, and I woke up to go to the toilet, went to the toilet. I don't know what made me grab my phone and have a look, but I did have a quick look, and I saw the news that Ace was in, intensive care, and I sent you that message. And then I couldn't get back to sleep. And then I just looked at my phone a little bit later, and there's the message that, he's passed away. And it's like, there's a certain kind of numbness that comes over you, especially as we get older, because, we just keep losing people that we looked up to. And as you've all said, while none of us knew him, you sort of feel like you did. When I was growing up, these guys were larger than life. They were superheroes. Like, I hadn't seen anything like these four. And, unfortunately, as you say, as we get older, we realise that, no one's immortal. We're all going to go at some stage, and it's a pity Ace has gone young. I still quite, 74 is young. You can't say Ace didn't live life to the fullest. He certainly, was 100 miles an hour most of the time. So, yeah, I said it's unfortunate to go the way he's gone. Rob and I rib him all the time, but, as you know, with mates, it comes from a place of love. We've always loved Ace. And yeah, you're going to be missed, buddy. And, don't know what you do from here. It's just a sad day.
Thank you, DJ and NC, for gifting Toons Brother memberships. That is awesome.
And think about this before you go, Rob. Ace, he, thank God that these guys, especially Peter and Ace, have stuck around as long as they have. We could have lost these guys in the mid 70s, 80s, especially the way, Peter and Ace was with their substances and alcohol and shit like that, man. That he made it as long as he did. It's kind of surprising. Playing Russian roulette for a long time, man. But, I guess not quite as dangerous as a lot of the other guys, everybody's different when it comes to stuff like that, man. But, he made it this long, and it's a shock that, with the way he partied and stuff like that, man, that he did make it this long. And I'm glad he did. He lived to be an old man. Basically, so go ahead, Rob. Yeah. I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
If you can live the life he did and last this long, that's something. Not everybody's Keith Richards. He'll be here, once all humanity is erased from the earth, he'll still be there. I give Ace massive amounts of crap on this podcast. For me, I wasn't surprised that it hit me today, but I was at how much it hit me. This was my hero. For as much crap as I give him, which mostly is my resentment towards what he cost this band, and it's easy, right? He makes it easy when he keeps going back and forth with the guys in Kiss. It's just, it's clickbait stuff. But this was everything to me. This is the reason I started playing guitar. Ace was my draw immediately at 5 years old to Kiss. I dressed up as Ace Frehley many times on Halloween. Everything I could possibly do to emulate Ace Frehley. He was my complete inspiration into hard rock music and guitar. This sucks more than I ever thought it would. It was a downer to lose Ozzy, Eddie Van Halen, and some of these guys, but I didn't really have a nostalgic childhood attachment. This is my first complete stranger celebrity in any walk of life, actor or whatever, that has crushed me. This is just taking a big chunk out of my childhood, and I don't do well with this. Unlike Scott, I hate the whole death thing. But regardless of what I've ever said about Ace, like y'all, like Dave said, it comes from love. I mean, you may not want to see it that way, but it's easier to rib somebody who has disappointed you than it is someone you give a shit about. Without a doubt, let's put it all to bed. 73 people watching. There you go. I don't care about Robert Plant. Jimmy Page. I don't care about Eddie Van Halen or any of these guys. The single biggest influential guitarist of all time is Ace fucking Frehley. Now, I'm not saying he's better than these other guitarists. I'm saying I will go to my grave betting everything I own that he has influenced more people to pick up that fucking guitar than any of these other guys ever could dream of doing. He was massively underrated as a guitar player, even through the 80s, but especially during the 70s. He was revolutionary in the style that he brought. He took the the Jimmy Page style and turned it into metal, because I still don't see Led Zeppelin as a heavy metal band, just a hard rock band. He made guitar cool. He made guitar, what's the word? Theatrical. I mean, yeah, Jimi Hendrix lit his guitar on fire. Big fucking deal. There's not posters of that sold for 40 fucking years at every fucking music store and carnival glass mirrors. Ace Frehley's smoking, flaming guitar, his badass fucking licks are something no one had ever heard before and has never done since. So we get into Ace the person, and I didn't always agree. I'm a very straight and narrow person when it comes to substance abuse. That's no secret. And he embarrassed me at times. But in light of what's going on here, I think it's only fitting to give everybody a little taste of one of the things that made Ace Frehley so fucking unique. And so, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Over the top. I think Scotty said goofball at one point. If I can find the fucking video. Go ahead, Scott. I'm going to find it real quick. I know I downloaded it.
Yeah, Ace, all the stuff, man, that I've got of theirs and his, man, that I've been able to hold on to over the years, I'm glad I got it now. I wished I still had everything that I had as a kid, but of course, you're a kid. You're not thinking about future, being 50 something years old, and these, you like Louis said, man. When I looked at these guys back then at their album covers and shit, man, these guys are immortal. They're not human, bro. They're never gonna die. These guys will never change. They'll always be this way. It was all just had that element of magic to it, man. And that's the way they perceived themselves. And that was a lot of what it drawed me into, man. Because a 7-year-old kid, people don't really think about that. Most 7-year-old kids is not getting into rock bands and shit like that, dude. I mean, especially nowadays. When I first seen the cover of Rock and Roll Over, I'm fucking, what Tommy Lee said, hell, I went nuclear, bro. My brain just went in 10 different directions. Like, who in the hell are these guys, man? Holy shit. I've got to hear this. Yeah, I can understand the appeal. Yeah, they drew people in with their look and their style and stuff, but the music was fucking awesome. And that's what made them who they were for the years that they sustained it, man. And that's what made them number one in the world. Not just because of the way they look in the stage show they put on. That wouldn't have lasted 2 or 3 years for real. I mean, it about petered out for before live. So the music came, and there we go, man. It's 50 something years later, and they're still the biggest faces in rock history, in my opinion.
Go ahead, Lou.
I'm just kind of been noticing this with myself in the last few minutes, is that Ace is the first time I'm hearing of anybody in the Kiss camp passing away that day within the half hour, an hour, whatever it was. It's like when Eric Carr died, very few people heard about that day because that was the same day Freddie Mercury died, and he got all the media attention. When what's his name, Mark St. John died, I didn't know about that. Eric Carr, I didn't know that until months later that he passed away. And with Mark St. John, I don't know when he died as opposed to when I heard about it. It must have been a long time. Sean Delaney, one of their co-writers, and friend of Peter Criss, he passed away. Bill O'Coin, the day he died, I did not know about it. Ace is my first time with anybody in the Kiss camp that I heard it within close to the time that it happened.
Okay, I got my video here, so let's do this real quick just to have a little levity for the Ace Frehley episode.
Tell me about your outfits. I mean, did you design your own outfits, all of you? And tell me what each outfit means. And I'll start with you, Ace.
Well,
that means a cucumber.
I think this outfit is self-explanatory. I mean, this is part of a kind of a V shape. This is my utility belt, and we don't want to go any below than my waist area because that's reserved for concert payers.
I understand that. But, and after it's all over, they say, this is what we came for.
And that's why they always feel short. I stole this from Flash Gordon, and, I have my cape. Yeah.
But you're kind of like a spaceman, huh?
No, actually, I'm a plumber. On the side. Look.
Hey, listen, I got a little piece of pipe backstage I'd like to have you work on.
Tell me about it. Oh, you love it, but I'm in bed.
You old sweet talker, you. But I'll tell you, I read on the sheet that they gave me where they said that it's hard to get you out of your shell.
It's hard for me to talk.
Yeah.
I'm very introverted.
Try to cheer down.
Okay, so there we go.
It was funny watching that, though, in full, and watching Gene and Paul getting more and more pissed off as time went on.
Paul was laughing his ass off when that happened. That's why Gene's the only one that really got aggravated in that interview, if y'all pay attention. Paul was kind of going with it, man. I mean, he was cracking up and stuff, but Gene, you could see his face just like you had to call Bill a coin, do something with him, when they went to commercial. But Bill O'Coin even said, hey, man, Tom Snyder loved him. And look, that's one of my favorites with Ace. And I loved when they were in Australia with the Unmasked tour, and Ace is wasted, and they're trying to do their little introduction to Eric Carr.
He was wasted, all right.
Oh, my God. That is funny as hell, man, too, man. But yeah, dude. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if he'd actually done a song about plumbing at some stage.
Tell me about it. Yeah. I love it, man.
Yep. What I realized as we're sitting here and discussing it was the fact that was the same age my father was when he passed away in 2006. But it doesn't seem the same. Like, my father seemed older, but yet they were the same age. Like,
I mean, I've always said,
sorry,
my parents seem a lot older than, when I think of my parents at 40, they seem like they were ancient, and I was still as immature as I was as a 18-year-old. So Probably
Yeah, I
Stan.
mean, if
Yeah.
you look at it, I mean, even End of the Road or Freely out on his solo tour, our parents, um, could you picture your parents doing that?
No.
I mean, these guys are 60s, 70s years old in fucking rock stars, man. I mean, you look around at your parents, all your parents' friends, your aunts and uncles and stuff, they're regular, Joe Schmo walk of life people. Uh, they don't seem like Kiss is just, and not just Kiss. I mean, all these bands, AC/DC, Aerosmith, all they're defying all logic by being that cool and that relevant into those ages. Rock is one of the greatest things that was ever created. It's so inspirational. And it really, when you do look at your own family who are those ages, it really is ridiculous when you think, geez, Kiss is up there in spandex at 70. My parents are wearing elastic, waisted jeans and,
Louis wears them.
Who's kidding? Gene's probably got some Depends on under there.
Not yet.
87 people watching. It just shows the love for the Spaceman. And you know what's refreshing here? And I love my regular viewers, but so many new names. And that's what I'm hoping for all of you who are new here just because of Ace. This is a great place to hang out. We bullshit music, we rank music, we rib each other, we rib the bands. It's all in fun. So check us out, and thanks for checking us out tonight. Dave, did you pull up anything you wanted to share?
Yeah, I think so. If I can find it now. Let's have a look.
Yep, and we're honest, guys. We don't hold hands and drink the same Kool-Aid. If our opinions are different, they're different. We don't try to appease each other. It's one likes something, the other one don't. That's the way we go with it, man. So,
and also,
yeah.
goes without saying to you new people watching, this is by far the most inclusive podcast on the internet, and that's for any subject, politics, music, whatever. You got something to say, your comment will be put on the screen. That's just the way it is. You're looking at how inclusive this podcast is, a channel I started, and every single panelist on here started as a viewer.
Yep.
So you got something to say that's worthwhile, you'll be recognized. So spread the word.
And there's probably some subjects you'll never hear on another rock podcast.
Yeah. It does get very adult, just a warning. But yeah.
And very stupid and silly as well to go with it. So
I mean, again.
Yeah. Just got this thing. I don't want to play the whole song. I just wanted to play the intro bit of this. So I'll put it up now. Just thought it was cool.
Okay, I'm assuming that was what from the unplugged rehearsals.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And funny as it may seem, Rock Bottom on the the Dress to Kill album has found its way at the top of my playlist every day. That's the first thing that shows up on my playlist every day for about a month now, 3 weeks, man. And it's odd because that never happens. It's always different songs I have in the playlist, but the Dress to Kill album cover and that song is first for 3 to 4 weeks now. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
It's probably my favorite part of the album is probably that intro.
Yep.
I love
Just
it,
love it.
man. I listen. I don't skip none of it. Yeah.
Louie or Gigi, you got anything? You've been quiet here. We don't want to step on your toes.
Now, I was going to say that, yeah, these rock stars have a way of capturing the fountain of youth. And I think that's because the public won't let them go. You know, the fan base gives them that youthful energy to keep going and stay young and whatever for as long as possible. You know, I think if Ace or any member from Kiss stopped doing the Kiss thing when a lot of people thought they should have ended, I think their hair would have fallen out. They would have gotten old and wrinkly and passed away even in the early 70s. But I think because they stuck around because the fans never want to let them go. And, just kind of that sort of thing. I just, like I said, this whole situation with Ace being gone is kind of surreal. You know, I'm sure a lot of us are going to wake up tomorrow morning with that cold chill. Like when something bad happens, like loss of a relative, loss of a job, or anything that was life-changing. You wake up the next morning with that cold, scared feeling. I'm pretty sure we're all going to feel that to some degree tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's for sure. I will add this little tidbit. The very first night, this will make your viewers go, or however you want to put it, go back to the first time I was on the show. Whatever possessed me to ask that night to go, so, out of the four, who do you think's going to go first?
See, that's why I didn't want to answer that.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes, you know what? That's your
I was
destiny.
wrong.
You can't escape it. You just, a buddy of mine, I think it was only 2-3 weeks prior to Ace having his fall, whatever, the same thing. Fell down, gashed his head in the forehead, had a bit of a brain bleed going on. He was morphined out, whatever. I honestly thought for sure he wasn't going to make it pull through. He has pulled through and is now going through therapy in the hospital and whatnot, and I'm just shocked. I'd say there's a decade in age, but my friend isn't all that healthy either. But, when your time is up, your time is up, and he's in the better place now. I will say that. Amen to that. He is out of his depression, out of his pain in his hands, who knows what, right? So be happy for the man. He's pain-free and he's up with all that happiness up there.
Well, there you go, Fuzzy Booger. You thought it would take Rush to get us over 30 viewers. Unfortunately, this tragic event has done that and then some. Christopher says he just read Peters with Ace when he passed. That would be awesome if that was the case. I look forward to any comments. I know Gene has put some comments out. I haven't read it because by the time my wife told me he had commented, I was deep in trying to get this tribute intro done and not start late like I always do. So I'm looking forward to that. Mick says, thanks, Rob, Scotty, Louie, Dave, and I'm sure he means Gigi. All right. So, Dave, how much time you got remaining?
Probably another 5 or 10 minutes.
All right, I got another clip. I did not even really view this, but I'm going to throw it up anyway. Here we go.
man.
Muted, Rob.
That one got me.
I apologize for the length of the audio, but you don't interrupt an absolute iconic performance. This was the fucking 70s, people. 1977. This kind of shit just didn't exist. This is the man you owe all future musicians. Nuno, Eddie Van Halen, what's his face from Pantera? I forget his name right now, no disrespect.
Dimebag, yeah.
Yeah, Dimebag. All these guitarists, Mick Mars, you name it. All your favorite guitarists that came about after owe their entire career to Mr. Ace Frehley. And I can't stress how devastating this is, how much I didn't realize how hard this one would hit. Paul Stanley will absolutely crush me, and I probably won't be able to be on the podcast, but this has really thrown me for a loop, so I don't have much else to say, so I'll leave it to you guys. Dave, you got something you want to say before you got to bow out?
No, just really just, thanks for the memories, Ace. As I said, as a kid growing up and seeing that was just, as you said, something you'd never seen before. And yeah, like I said, it's going to leave a big hole. And over the next few days, I think we'll all come to terms with it a bit more. But yeah, he's going to be missed big time. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Kennedy Center honors with Ace not being there too. So.
Okay, Sharif, another new name and face, says he had the pleasure of jamming with Ace in '91 after his gig at the Limelight at a loft on Crosby Street. They did She. That is absolutely incredible. And did you manage to get any footage of that? Holy cow, I know '91 was a little before smartphones and all that, but man, what an amazing memory to have. Thank you for sharing that, Sharif.
No shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to say, for the people that don't know Kiss as well as we do, what that guitar solo was attached to in that whole jam that they did was tagging on to Cold Gin before they switched that over to become the Shock Me Jam and solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when he added the shooting rockets.
I mean, and a lot of people may not know, because a lot of bands didn't do exaggerated performances, but I think back to TNT, a great band, and their guitarist was phenomenal. And he would bring out, he had 3 guitars in his solo, and 2 of them were on stands and then one around his neck, and he'd play them, and then each one would go on a sustain, and then he'd go over to the other one and play a part that adds to it, and then he'd add to it again. All of that was made possible and put in the brains of all these young kids because of what Ace Frehley brought to us. Let's never forget that. I'm not taking anything away from Jimmy Page or any of these guitarists who came before him, but let's not forget how much this man just evolutionized what it meant to be a showman on that guitar. It's just otherworldly. Maybe from Jendell. Here's to you, Ace. I got nothing else. We got over 100 people watching. This is absolutely incredible. We're at 54 minutes. Anybody else want to go into anything else?
No, I've got to shoot off anyway, guys. So.
Yeah, man. We loved you, brother. There'll never be another spaceman like you, man. And we'll die loving you, regardless of however long we make it, man. We're going to miss you. I know I am. And you brought me and a lot of people a lot of joy and a lot of passion for music in this lifetime, man. So love you, brother.
For all you new faces, we appreciate you. I hope you hang with us. We do have another live stream covering and ranking Led Zeppelin 2 on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time. That is a live show we do every week at that time. We may have something coming up Saturday that will be announced. You can check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Just dig around on the pages. There's something for everybody. Anything else, Lou?
Yeah, does anybody have a clip of the Australia interview when they introduced Eric Carr to the public?
I don't.
Oh, that's great because that's the one where Ace goes, "Look, it's rock and roll."
Yeah. Yeah.
Gigi, anything
Good one.
else?
He's, even if things changed and that Kiss didn't continue without them and all, Ace would still be living on in our hearts because he set the bar to keep on going and whatnot too. Like, yep, I look forward to seeing him on the other side someday, rocking with them all.
All right. Here's to you, Ace, and we'll see you all on the next stream. Thanks for
Betcha.
watching.